Hello guys, it's me Thales. This is my channel dedicated to English language. Yes, it's another video. We have more than 300 videos available already. So I advise you to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell and give a thumbs up if you enjoy the content I'm recording, right? What do we talk about here? We talk about English grammar. First and foremost about English grammar, but once we finish studying the grammar, the main topics of basic to advanced grammar, we will go to other topics such as vocabulary, idiomatic expressions, phrasal verbs, business English, and so forth. So there is much content to be recorded yet, and I can say that I'm far from finished, right? There is much more things to be recorded and uploaded. So I hope you enjoy my content. What are we going to talk about in this video? As you may know, this is an intermediate advanced video. It's recorded entirely in English, but if you prefer, there is another playlist which is recorded in Portuguese, the basic playlist aimed at beginners, right? Students who are starting to study the language. Okay, without further ado, let's get going to today's topic. So, today we will continue talking about usage of the definite article. I guess this will be the last video about this topic, I hope, right? When we use and when we don't use the article the, right? Seeing some examples, mostly involving places, right? Today we will talk mostly about places. If you want, you can check the previous videos in which I talk in greater detail about other examples involving the definite article and the indefinite article. We have already covered most of the topics related to them, okay? Well, when you talk about names of streets, roads, squares, parks, most of these places, they don't require the definite pronoun. As a matter of fact, you don't use them at all, right? For example, you say Central Park. You don't use the, right? Have you ever been to Central Park? Have you ever been? I have never, but I intend to do so next year. Yes, I was supposed to travel to New York. I guess I have already talked about it, but due to the pandemic, right, COVID-19 prevented me from going, yes. And Donald Trump banned flights from Brazil as well. So even if I wanted to, I wouldn't be able to travel. I have never been to Central Park, right? This is the present perfect tense. Check it out, this content in a previous video in which I talk about the present perfect tense, which is the verb have plus the main verb in the past participle, right? Been is the verb to be. To be in the present is am, is, or are. In the simple past or past simple, we have was or were, and in the past participle, we have been. So it's an irregular verb you have to memorize. Yeah. Another place that we have in New York, very famous, is the Wall Street. Wall Street is the financial core of the world, right? Yes, it's the most important financial center in the world. So you don't use the, right? If you use the, is incorrect. Broadway is another tourist attraction Broadway currently is closed due to COVID-19. I even considered buying some tickets for some attractions, but when I wanted to travel, when I planned my trip last year, I thought that it was overpriced. I didn't feel like doing it, and I was right. If I did, I wouldn't be able to travel anyway. So I would have to request a refund from my tickets. So Broadway doesn't require that as well. So just some examples, places of, when you talk about roads, Backman Road, for example. Yes, this is a road from a game I like, Silent Hill. Yes, you go, turn left, Backman Road, right? For example, when you give directions, you use the name of places, name of streets, avenues, right? So it's important to know when to use or when not to use a definite article. Another important thing we have to consider is name of university's name, right? We have Harvard University. You don't use the definite article. When I traveled to Boston in 2018, I guess during my last trip, last day of my trip, I wanted to go there, but no, I'm not going there because the place I was hosted was very far from Harvard University. And I wanted just to go there and take a picture. No, I didn't want. But one of the most prestigious universities, you have also Cambridge University, for example. So names of universities don't require the definite article. If you use them, it's wrong, right? When you say, for example, there is a name of a place that's very interesting to compare. When you talk about Buckingham Palace, for example, before Buckingham Palace, I guess I spelled it right. Buckingham Palace, you don't use the definite article, but when the name of the place you are considering is an adjective, and instead of being a name, for example, the Royal Palace, the Royal Mansion, for example, the White House, yes, the White House. The White House is a great example. White is an adjective, royal is an adjective, so you have to use the, okay? It's not a name. The White House is where the presidency of the United States works, right? Okay, another thing we have to consider, many other places, many other buildings use names with prepositions, oh my God, with the definite article. We are talking only about the definite article, the, right? In English. In Portuguese, we have many definite articles, but in English, we have just one. Yeah. Indefinite articles, on the other hand, we have two. And the difference between them we have already covered, which is the sound of the word that comes next to it, right? A or A comes before consonant sounds and N comes before vowel sounds, okay? You can check the previous videos I have recorded. When you talk about the names of the hotel, for example, a hotel you are staying on, Copacabana Palace. Copacabana Palace, I believe it's not, you can use, right? Most names have the Copacabana Palace, but here I don't think why we should use. I guess we can omit it because there is not another Copacabana Palace in the world, I guess. It's just here at Rio de Janeiro. But when you refer, for example, to a hotel chain, right, such as the Sheraton Hotel, you can use the Holiday Inn. When I traveled to Boston, I stayed at a Holiday Inn hotel. Where are you hosted? I'm at the Holiday Inn. Okay? You can use the definite article. Before names of movie theaters, theater themselves, the National Museum. National Theater, sorry. Or maybe you are talking about an art gallery, right? I don't know a name of an art gallery. The Johnson Gallery, for example. It's the name of an art gallery. Here, name of a theater. And the Roxy, name of a movie theater. You can use the definite article the before these names. In New York, we have the Empire State, right? In Paris, you have the Eiffel Tower. So you use the definite article. Sometimes you can omit the name of the place and use just the specification, right? Just the adjective. For example, here we talked about the, let me see where. The Sheraton Hotel. You can refer to it as the Sheraton. It's not necessary to write hotel. Here it's implied that I'm talking about the hotel. Just some examples that you can omit, right? Names which have, which use the preposition of, in general, they have the, right? The Bank of England. The central bank. Central bank doesn't have of. You can use, for example, the University of Cambridge when referring to that university, but there is Cambridge. You can refer to it like this using the preposition of, or you can use the way I showed you before, saying Cambridge University. Cambridge University. Here you don't use the. When you talk Harvard University, Cambridge University, you don't use the definite article. When you use the preposition of, you use the definite article. You employ the definite article the right here. The Great Wall of China, another example. You see, you have preposition of. So, in general, the definite article is used. There are many names of places which refer to the people who own them, right? They give names to places When you talk about a department store, for example, Macy's. Macy's is a very famous department store. When you say, how can I say? When you have a restaurant, for example, I can say, Thales restaurant. John's restaurant. Bill's bar. You see, I'm using here the genitive case or the possessive case. Remember it? I talked about it in a previous video. What is it? It's when you establish a relationship of ownership. The restaurant belongs to John, for example. The restaurant belongs to Thales. The bar belongs to Bill. So it means that Bill owns the bar, John owns the restaurant, Thales owns the restaurant. Or maybe they are not the owners of the respective places. They are just giving the name, right? They are just names you give to a certain place. In general, I have already explained this in some videos. The name you write here before the apostrophe S, in general, is a person. In general, no, always is a person. Is a name of a person which is related to the object we are talking here. A person's book. Mary's book. Book that belongs to Mary. Okay? But when you talk about places and objects, you can't use the genitive case. So you have to use preposition of. University of Cambridge, Great Wall of China. You are unable to use such resources, okay? And there are some most newspapers, many organizations, they have names using the definite article. The New York Times, for example. The Guardian, the Financial Times, the BBC, the UN, right? United Nations, the United Nations, the European Union, the Red Cross, and so forth. So you can use the article the before such names. But some companies, when you want to say the name of a company, you don't use an article. You don't say the Microsoft. You just say Microsoft. Nintendo, Sony, Samsung. You see? Before such names, you don't use the definite article. Okay? Well, I guess we have covered almost all cases. We will finish this video here. It's already too lengthy, almost 20 minutes long, but I promised myself to finish this topic so that the next one we no longer talk about the definite article, but every now and then we may need to remind you some topics we have already covered. So it's highly advisable, highly recommendable that you watch my previous videos, because I'm covering every single topic from grammar. The most important ones, of course, not everything, because grammar is too complex. Although I think that in English is much easier than Portuguese to learn. Okay, people, have a good time. See you later.